the Audi RS7. It's a name that conjures images of blistering acceleration and continent-crushing pace, all wrapped up in a package that can comfortably take 4 adults and their luggage to the shops. It's a paradox on wheels, a luxury saloon with the heart of a supercar. We all know it's fast, absurdly so, but speed is only one part of the equation. The more important question, and the one we're tackling today, is this. When you push this 2-ton missile to its absolute limit, what is it that actually keeps you safe? Today is the 20th of October, 2025, and we're about to find out, using a combination of public road assessments and no-holds-barred track testing. Our mission is simple. We will explore every facet of the RS7's performance envelope, not just for the thrill of it. It's easy to be seduced by the raw power of its twin-turbo V8, but the real magic lies in the systems designed to harness that power and prevent a very expensive, very fast car from becoming a very large, very stationary piece of modern art against a barrier. We'll be looking at everything from the colossal brakes to the sophisticated stability controls, breaking down exactly what they do and how they protect you when you're asking the most of the machine. We'll start by simulating real-world driving scenarios, understanding how the car behaves during normal commutes and spirited B-road blasts. This gives us a baseline, a feel for the car's character before we unleash it. Then we transition to the controlled environment of a closed circuit. Here, free from speed limits and a concerned public, we can safely find the ragged edge of performance. We will conduct specific repeatable tests for braking, cornering, and high-speed stability, dissecting the results to demystify the technology that works tirelessly in the background. It's about translating engineering jargon into plain English. This isn't just about one car, though. The principles we'll explore apply to nearly every modern performance vehicle. The lessons learned from pushing an RS7 to its breaking point can provide invaluable advice for any driver, whether they're behind the wheel of a hot hatchback or a family SUV. We'll discuss the limits of technology and, crucially, the limits of the driver, because at the end of the day, the most advanced safety system in any car sits between your ears. Let's get started and see what keeps you from becoming a statistic when you dare to dance with the devil. Before a single line of code is written for a stability control system, the fundamental safety of a car like the RS7 is forged in metal. The chassis is the skeleton, the very bedrock of its integrity. Audi uses a mix of high-strength steel, lightweight aluminum, to create a passenger safety cell that is immensely rigid. Think of it as a protective cage designed to resist deforming in a crash, channeling the immense forces of an impact around the occupants rather than through them. This structural strength is the first and most crucial line of defense, a purely physical barrier between you and the outside world. It's heavy, yes, but in a collision, mass and rigidity are your best friends. Then you have the parts that do the stopping, and on the RS7 they are monumental. The standard steel brakes are already larger than the wheels on some city cars, but the optional carbon ceramic discs are on another level entirely. These are not just for show. They are a critical safety component designed for extreme thermal resistance. When you brake hard from high speed, you are converting kinetic energy into heat, a massive amount of it. Standard brakes can overheat, a phenomenon known as brake fade, where the pedal feels soft and stopping distances increase dramatically. Carbon ceramics are built to withstand this punishment, providing consistent, brutal stopping power again and again. Next, we must talk about the only part of the car that actually touches the road, the tires. You can have the most powerful engine and the most advanced brakes in the world, but they are utterly useless without good rubber. The RS7 comes fitted with wide, low-profile performance tires, specifically engineered to provide maximum grip in dry, wet conditions. The contact patch, the small rectangle of rubber connecting you to the tarmac, is a battleground where 1,000 tiny calculations happen every second. And these tires are designed to evacuate water-resist deformation under heavy cornering loads and provide the traction needed to both accelerate, stop effectively. Finally, you have the chassis and suspension. The RS7 sits low and wide, a posture that isn't just for aggressive looks. This low center of gravity inherently makes the car more stable and less prone to rolling over. The sophisticated air suspension system is a marvel. It can be soft and compliant for a comfortable motorway cruise. But when you select a sportier driving mode, it stiffens up instantly. This firmness reduces body roll during cornering, keeping the car flat and the tires pressed firmly and evenly onto the road surface. These are the physical building blocks of safety, the mechanical engineering that must be perfect before any electronic aids can even begin to do their job. If the chassis and brakes are the car's muscle and bone, then the suite of electronic driver aids is its central nervous system. These systems are constantly monitoring your inputs and the car's behavior, ready to intervene in milliseconds. The most well-known of these is the anti-lock braking system, or ABS. When you slam on the brakes in an emergency, ABS prevents the wheels from locking up and skidding. It rapidly pulses the brakes, letting you steer while braking hard to avoid obstacles. Building on that is electronic stability control, or ESC. And this is arguably the single most important safety invention since the seatbelt. ESC uses sensors to measure steering angle, vehicle rotation, and wheel speed. If it detects understeer, plowing straight on in a corner, or oversteer, the rear end sliding out, it can intervene with surgical precision. It might break an individual wheel or momentarily cut engine power to nudge the car back onto your line. Subtle enough that you often don't even notice it saved you. Then there's traction control, the counterpart to ABS. ABS manages braking forces, traction control manages acceleration forces. If you apply too much power and the wheels spin, traction control steps in. It can reduce engine torque or apply the brake to the spinning wheel, redirecting power to the wheel with grip. On an RS7 with huge power, traction control is essential, especially on a damp road or a dusty surface. It ensures power is put down cleanly and safely. Finally, these systems are tied together and enhanced by Quattro all-wheel drive and the optional sport differential. Quattro isn't just for snow. Show it on snow and track. It constantly shifts power front to rear to maximize grip. The sport differential can send more power to the outside rear wheel in a corner, which pushes the nose into the bend counter's understeer and makes the car feel more agile. These guardians work in perfect harmony, a digital safety net that expands the car's capabilities and your margin for error. There is no more visceral test of a car's safety credentials than a full-force emergency stop from high speed. On the track's main straight, we brought the RS7 up to 124 miles per hour, or 200 kilometers per hour. The goal is simple. Hit a specific marker and apply 100% braking pressure, measuring the distance it takes to come to a complete standstill. This isn't a gentle squeeze of the pedal, it's a violent stand on it as if your life depends on it event. The moment your foot hits the pedal, the car's entire character changes from a forward-thrusting rocket to an instrument of immense deceleration. The forces are brutal, pinning you against the seatbelt. The first thing you notice is the sheer, unwavering stability. The ABS is working overtime, chattering away beneath your foot, but the car tracks perfectly straight. There's no squirminess, no twitching from the rear end, just a feeling of being clamped to the tarmac. The carbon ceramic brakes bite down with ferocious power, and the heat they generate is immense, but their performance remains utterly consistent. We repeated this test 5 times in quick succession. The stopping distance on the 5th attempt was only a couple of meters longer than the first, demonstrating the incredible fade resistance of the system. On standard brakes, that distance would likely have increased significantly. What does this mean for the driver? It means that in a genuine emergency on the motorway, say a suddenly stopped lorry appearing over a blind crest, the car has the capability to shed speed at a phenomenal rate. Our test showed a consistent stopping distance from 62 miles per hour, 100 kilometers per hour of around 34 meters. From 124 miles per hour, that distance grew exponentially, as physics dictates, but the car remained controllable throughout. This controllability is the key. It's the difference between simply crashing at a lower speed and having the ability to steer around the hazard altogether while you're braking. However, this test also highlights a crucial lesson for every driver. While the car's performance is astounding, it cannot bend the laws of physics. Doubling your speed doesn't double your stopping distance, it quadruples it. The RS7's powerful brakes buy you a greater margin of safety, but they do not make you invincible. The advice is clear. Always leave a significant gap to the car in front, and the faster you are traveling, the larger that gap needs to be. The best emergency stop is the one you never have to make, and that comes down to anticipation and maintaining a safe following distance. A car's ability to go around a corner is just as important as its ability to go in a straight line. For this test, we used a long, constant radius corner on the track to explore the RS7's lateral grip limits. Enter the corner at a steady speed, gradually accelerate, feeding in more power, chassis and electronic aids respond. Tires begin to lose adhesion. Interplay, mechanical grip, tires, suspension, digital assistance, stability control, quattro all-wheel drive. Pushing a 2-ton car through a corner at speed is a serious test of engineering. Initially, as we increased speed, the car felt completely planted. Stiff suspension minimized body roll. Wide tires provided immense grip. You can feel the quattro system working, shuffling power around to maintain traction. As we approach the limit, gentle, progressive understeer. Front tires scrubbing slightly wide of the intended line. This is safe, predictable behavior, engineered into the car. It's a clear signal to the driver that they are approaching the edge of the grip envelope, giving them time to react by easing off the throttle. Sport differential engages rear-wheel steering, if fitted, come into play. Just as understeer began to build, systems activating. Rear-wheel steering helps pivot the car. Differential sends more torque to the outer rear wheel. With the ESC in its more lenient sport mode, the car allows for a small amount of slip, making it feel lively and adjustable. But if you get too greedy with the throttle and the rear starts to step out, the full ESC system intervenes with a subtle but firm hand, braking a wheel, cutting power to instantly restore stability. The lesson here is about smoothness and respect for the limit, even in a car as capable as the RS7. Abrupt inputs are the enemy. Jerking the steering wheel or stamping on the throttle mid-corner can overwhelm the tires and the electronic systems. The safest way to corner quickly is to be smooth with your steering, braking, and throttle inputs. For the average driver on a public road, the key takeaway is to slow down before you enter a corner, not in the middle of it. Brake in a straight line, turn in smoothly, and only apply the power once you can see the exit of the corner and can begin to straighten the wheel. Be smooth and respect the limit. We cannot talk about the RS7's performance without addressing the elephant in the room, its weight. Tipping the scales at well over 2,000 kilograms, this is a heavy machine. In some respects, this mass can be an advantage. It contributes to a feeling of solidity and stability. High-speed motorway driving, less affected by crosswinds than a lighter car. In the unfortunate event of a collision, sheer momentum and a larger crumple zone can offer passive safety, interacting with smaller vehicles. But when you are pushing to the limit, this weight becomes the single biggest factor you have to manage. Momentum is mass multiplied by velocity. The RS7 has plenty of both. At any given speed, it carries a huge amount of energy. Brakes are incredibly powerful, but still must dissipate enormous energy. Weight places immense strain on the brakes, tires, suspension components. Turning the steering wheel asks the front tires to fight forward momentum to change direction. Heavy cars are more prone to understeer. Momentum wants to keep the car going straight. Show understeer diagram. The driver must be acutely aware. Brake earlier for corners than in a lighter sports car. Be smoother with your inputs to avoid overwhelming the front tires. Anticipate weight shift during transitions. Series of left corners. Series of right corners. Electronic systems help disguise mass, torque vectoring, stability control, but they are not magic. They operate within the laws of physics. Push too far, and the weight will show. On public roads, this is critical. Your heavy saloon or SUV carries more momentum than a small hatchback. Leave a bigger gap to the car in front, stopping distances longer. Approach corners at a sensible speed. Tires work harder to change direction. The RS7's technology masks its weight, making it feel nimble in normal driving. But drivers must never forget the physics at play. Always drive with an awareness of the mass you are piloting. After all the talk of carbon ceramic brakes, quattro, all-wheel drive, multi-layered electronic stability control, we arrive at the most complex, most unpredictable, and most important safety system in any car: the driver. No amount of German engineering can compensate for a lack of skill, a lapse in judgment, or an overestimation of one's own abilities. The RS7 is a tool of immense capability, but in the wrong hands, it can be a dangerous one. Pushing a car to its limit is not just about having a heavy right foot. Processing information, understanding feedback, and making split-second decisions. On the track, I was working with a professional driving instructor, constantly discussing the car's feedback. What are the tires telling me? How is the chassis reacting to my inputs? This is a skill that takes years of practice to develop. A professional driver learns to feel the subtle signs of impending grip loss through the steering wheel and a seat-of-the-pants connection to the chassis. They understand how to react to a slide not with panic, but with calm, measured inputs. This is a world away from a typical driver's experience. Public roads are not the place to find these limits. Reaction time is a critical factor. At 60 miles per hour, you are covering the length of a football pitch every 3 seconds. Even a 1-second delay means you've traveled nearly 30 meters before you begin to brake or steer. The RS7 systems are designed to help, but they cannot see the future. The driver's attention and alertness are paramount. Distractions like mobile phones, complex infotainment systems, or even intense conversations drastically reduce your ability to perceive and react. The ultimate safety feature is driver education. Taking an advanced driving or high-performance track day course is the best investment an owner of a car like this can make. It teaches you about vehicle dynamics, how to properly use your vision, and how to control a car in emergency situations in a safe, controlled environment. It replaces the panic of the unknown with the confidence of practiced skill. It teaches you to respect the machine and to understand and respect your own limits, which are almost always reached long before the cars. Owning a high-performance car like the Audi RS7 comes with a responsibility. You cannot expect it to deliver its peak safety and performance if you neglect its fundamental needs. Regular, meticulous maintenance is not just about protecting your investment. It is a non-negotiable aspect of safety. This is especially true if you ever plan on using even a fraction of its capabilities. The strain placed on components during spirited driving is exponentially higher than during a gentle commute, and this must be accounted for in your maintenance schedule. It is simply not a car you can service on the cheap. The tires are your first and most important checkpoint. Before any drive, and especially before a long journey or a track day, a visual inspection is crucial. Are there any cuts, bulges, uneven wear patterns? Most importantly, is the tire pressure correct? An underinflated tire can overheat and fail catastrophically at speed, while an overinflated tire will have a smaller contact patch and reduced grip. Furthermore, tire tread depth is critical for clearing water and preventing aquaplaning. Using old, hardened or budget tires on a car of this caliber is a false economy that could have devastating consequences. Similarly, the braking system demands respect. Brake fluid is hygroscopic, meaning it absorbs moisture from the air over time. This moisture lowers the fluid's boiling point. During a series of hard stops, the heat generated can boil the old fluid, creating vapor pockets in the lines and leading to a complete loss of braking power. This is why manufacturers specify regular brake fluid changes. Brake pads and discs are wearable items, and they will wear out much faster with aggressive use. Regularly checking their thickness is essential to ensure you have the stopping power you need when you need it. Beyond the obvious tires and brakes, other systems need to be in top condition. The engine needs the correct grade of oil to handle the high temperatures of performance driving. The suspension components, bushings, and alignment must be checked to ensure the car handles predictably. The ethos is simple. A car is a system of interconnected parts. A failure in one seemingly minor component can have a cascading effect that compromises the entire safety envelope. If you want the car to be ready to protect you at its limit, you must give it the care and attention it deserves. So after a day of pushing, probing, and provoking, what is the verdict on the Audi RS7's safety at the limit? The car is phenomenally safe. It is built like a vault, equipped with massive brakes and governed by intelligent electronic systems acting as a digital co-pilot. On track it managed its weight stayed stable under extreme braking and clearly communicated its limits to the driver. That engineering provides a big safety margin and driver confidence. But whose limit are we talking about? For 99.9% of drivers, the car's limits are beyond what should be explored on public roads. It can take corners at reckless illegal speeds. It can stop from velocities you should never be traveling at. That capability can create a false sense of security. The car feels so competent it can make drivers overestimate their skill and push into risky behavior. Final advice: respect. Respect the car's power. Respect road conditions and the laws. Most of all, respect your own limits. Experience limits on a racetrack, ideally with professional instruction. There you can learn about the car and yourself safely. For daily driving, treat RS7 performance as a safety reserve. Accelerate out of a dangerous situation or stop short of an unexpected hazard, not for thrills. The RS7 shows how technology makes high performance accessible and safe. Its physical strength and digital intelligence protect you. But technology is a safety net, not a substitute for responsibility. The final link is the person holding the steering wheel. Drive smart, maintain your vehicle, and always leave a margin for error. If you found this analysis useful, please give it a like and subscribe for more deep dives into vehicle safety. We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and comment. Just Rachel Family Channel.